centuries back, they happened to be traders. In the sailing boats from these areas, they went out seeking the sustenance from Allah. Doing business, when you do business, halal rizq. So they went to India, they went to Indonesia, they went to Malaysia, they went to the east coast of Africa, they went to the west coast of Africa. And wherever they went, they took with them Dinullah. They were not missionaries. They were not missionaries. They were business people, but they were good Muslims. Their very lives were an attraction to people. My forefathers in India were Hindus. I come from the west coast of India, Bombay province, Surat district. In Surat, there is a river passing through, and your forefathers used to come there to do business, to barter their dates for our muslin cloth, our turmeric, our tamarind, and take it somewhere else and barter that for something else, business. But in the process, my ancestors coming into contact with your ancestors, finding them good human beings. They didn't know about Muslims, good Muslim, good human beings. So he said, look, we'd like to be one of you. He said, very easy, give your hand. So they gave the hand. Say the Shahada. So what's that? Say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. They said it, they uttered it. So you're a Muslim. From now on, you mustn't drink, you mustn't gamble, you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that, you mustn't eat the pig. So right. You must make salat. There's the house. So come, I teach you. This is how you make wudu, this is how you make salat. They converted us. And from my youth, from my childhood, my father used to make me to reverence the Arabs. Whenever we saw the Arab in this garb, my father would go and shake his hand and kiss them. And I also did likewise. He said, had it not been for these people, we would be still worshipping men and monkeys, elephants and snakes, and many other things besides, which I can't even tell you. That the urine of the cow would be our purification, our scent. You can't imagine. Your forefathers, they saved us. Wallah, may Allah reward them. They went on their business to the east coast, and they converted the people. On the west coast of Africa, they converted the people. They reached as far as Mozambique. In their tradings, they went as far as Mozambique. They didn't go beyond to South Africa. Maybe they didn't know this. I suppose the type of people that were there at the time, they couldn't do any business with them. No trading, nothing that you can bargain with them. So they didn't go that far. They went as far as Mozambique. The Portuguese, some 500 years ago, with the superior gunpowder, they overpowered the Muslim who were in charge, who were the governor of the place. A Muslim by the name of Musa bin Baik was the governor of that territory, East Africa. So they knocked hells into the man, they got rid of him, and they sat in the position. And because they couldn't say Musa bin Baik, they said Mozambique. That's Mozambique. It was the territory of the Arab governor, Musa bin Baik. Like Jabal al-Tariq, they can't say Jabal al-Tariq, they say Gibraltar. Muslim territory, Musa bin Baik. They did the job. Now, we happen to be there in South Africa, and South Africa is a very rich country. It is the richest piece of real estate land mass in the world. Oh, I'm not here to sell South Africa to you people. I know the Abu Dhabi people that send a delegation there, and they want to do business with the country. I say, mashallah, we want our brothers to come over and do business. Prosperity for themselves and prosperity for the country. We are happy, we are happy. But now, we Muslims there, we didn't go as businessmen. We didn't go to do business there. We, the Muslims there, we are 500,000, by the way. Half of this 500,000 originate in the Far East, in Indonesia and Malaysia. The Dutch, 300 years ago, when they conquered Indonesia, those of our brethren who are fighting for their freedom, they were captured as prisoners of war and shipped to the Cape of Good Hope and sold to the white men as slaves. When the British conquered Malaysia, those of our brethren who were fighting for their freedom, the freedom fighters of the time, they were captured. When they were captured as prisoners of war, they were shipped to the Cape of Good Hope for the white man, and sold to the white man as slaves. For 300 years, they have been hammered. They had no religious freedom. They couldn't even make salat. In secret, they kept their Islam. In secret. 300 years of hammering failed to change them. And they have come out. That 300 years of hammering, either it softens you into jelly, or it makes you hard as steel. These people have become hardened, as hard as steel. They happen to be one of the most militant Muslim communities in the world today. If they have the means, they can sweep Africa for Islam from Cape to Cairo. They have that spirit in them. They want the wherewithals, the means of doing the job. Then the other half originated in Indo-Pakistan subcontinent. They also came there because they were starving, famines after famines in India, Pakistan, so they wanted to eke out a living. They went there to eke out a living. Poverty, poverty, abject poverty. They didn't go as businessmen, and they didn't go as missionaries. We were also under pressure, but alhamdulillah, the Muslims as a people as a whole, they survived. They didn't get lost in that ocean of kufr. We survived, and we have also come out to be a good Muslim community. Outwardly, salat, zakat, hajj, psalm, in that, all that, the South African Muslim is all right. He's all right. It's not too bad. But we didn't do dawah. Reason, I already gave you. Under slavery, as a slave, the poor Malay or Indonesian, we call them all Malays now, he couldn't have told his white taskmaster, his slave master, boss, sir, you know, you're going to go to hell. So why? He says, you know, the Quran says, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهُ الْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ. Anyone who says that Jesus Christ, the son of Mary, is God, is making kufr. It's an act of blasphemy, treason against Allah. وقال المسيح, but Christ said, يا بني إسرائيل أُجْرُونَ في إسرائيل لَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ, worship Allah. ربي وربكم, who is my Lord and your Lord. إنه من يشرك بالله, whoever will associate anyone with Allah, فقد حرم الله للجنة, Allah will make Jannah haram for them. Heaven will be forbidden for them. وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارِ, and the fire of hell will be the dwelling place. وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ, and for the wrongdoers there will be no one to help. He dared not open his mouth. The guy would have smashed his jaw, killed him. What can he do as a slave? Can you speak to his masters? You can't. And we, poor beggars, come from India starving, eking out a living, we couldn't do the job. But today, alhamdulillah, out of these shackles of 300 years of oppression, what they call apartheid, keeping people apart, racially, this is the white man, he is supreme. Under him comes a colored, a mixture of black and white. They call them coloreds, separate. White man, separate. Colored, separate. Indian, separate. African, separate. Not allowed to mix. Apartheid, keeping people apart. They did it. And they created reservation, like the Americans do for the Indians. The Indian reservations, keep people all apart. Now, my president, de Klerk, he's just made a statement a month or so ago. He said, the book of apartheid is now closed. The book of apartheid, of keeping, that's the system, the philosophy of keeping all these different races apart, has now, that book has been closed. The oppression, the discrimination is now finished. So he said. But that doesn't change the heart and mind of people. It doesn't. By law, you can say, look, don't discriminate, but the heart can't change with that. You need a change of heart. And the only system, their system was to keep the people different church, separate church. The African. They did one thing great. The white man, in enslaving people, gave him the Bible in his own mother tongue. That's great. The African, the Zulus and the Xhosa and all the other people, they're different tribes and races. They didn't have a written language. They didn't know how to read or write. Any language. They could speak, but they couldn't read and write. So they gave them a written script. They gave them a script to write and their own language to read. And they gave them a book. And there is something in the nature of man. I think if he's got a healthy mind, he wants knowledge. And the easiest way and the best friend that you can have is a book. Easily available, you can talk to him. The book talks to you, you talk to the book. Reason. So they gave him a book. To every tribe, a book in his own language. How many? For the Africans alone. Altogether, 3,046,000 were given out. It continues. Scriptures in Afrikaans, English and Zulu were most in demand. The most in demand was English, Afrikaans, the language of the ruler, and Zulu. Talking about millions. What have we to offer? They gave them a book, and they gave them a separate church. Everyone a separate church. Separation. Not even in church they'll get together. Not even in death, not in life, not in death. Time and again, when the African, his master dies, his boss, so the poor fellow goes to church to offer a prayer. He's a Christian, belongs to the same church or denomination. But they're kicked out. They say, you're careful what the hell you want here. You know, your prayers are not needed here, get out. Again and again they're kicked out. But they created through this book 3,000 different sects and denominations among the whites, everyone a different church. 3,000. Among the whites of South Africa, 1,000 different churches and denominations, and 3,000 among the blacks. Linguistically, sectarianism, he said this is an Anglican, this is a Lutheran, this is a Presbyterian, this is a Jehovah's Witness, this is a Seventh-day Adventist, and on and on and on. 3,000 different churches have been created for them. Very beautiful way of ruling the people. They gave them a book and they gave them a church, a separate church. We have to offer people something. You can't just say, this garb of yours I don't like. You know, this Arab garb. Throw it away. No, if I want to tell you, I must give you an alternative. I said, look, brother, this is a bit, this is coming in your way, you know, working in a factory or this or that, you know, you can get entangled and you can get hurt. So for that I said, look, you need a t-shirt and a jean. You want to work for me? T-shirt and a jean, please. You have to change for this. Or I have to give you an alternative. No sense in just saying, condemning something, this is no good, that's no good, that's no good. No. You have to give an alternative. They have got the Bible and they have got a church. We have to give them a church, a place of worship. And alhamdulillah, the Muslim community, as small as we are, we have today more than 400 masjids in the country. All built except for one, with our own sweated labor. No help from the outside. We have done a beautiful job. I said except for one. All our own sweated labor. We have got more than 400 different madrasas, religious schools in the country. Our own sweated labor. We look after our widows, our cripples, everything, charity. We are doing a fine job. But now, the part of South Africa, the most dominant community in that country are the Zulus. And the Zulus happen to be 8 million strong. A cohesive community. They are really like the Quraysh in the times of early Islam. The Quraysh among the different tribes. This is Bani Kalb, and this is Bani this, and this is Bani that. Among all them, he says, Bani Hashim, and this is the Quraysh. We are the Quraysh. The Quraysh of South Africa are the Zulus. And there are 8 million Zulus. And my brethren, they want to come and do business with South Africa. The white man is opening the doors, mashallah. But now we will go automatically into the white man's camp. Automatically. Because he is making the approaches. And if we don't have the presence of mind and get caught out, sooner or later, that guy says, look, man, the white man oppressed us for 300 years, and now you come along and you're trying to take his place. It's not a very healthy situation. Unless we make him our brother. Give him something, man. And he's not asking you for charity, he's not asking you for money, he's not asking you for food. Give him deen, faith. Make him your brother. Make him your brother. And for that, we have just published 100,000 Zulu Qurans. 100,000. For a nation of 8 million. 100,000 sounds a lot. But for 8 million people who are on the verge of change, they're coming alive, alert to their power and their strength, 100,000 is nothing. The Christians are talking about millions and millions and millions. At the present moment, the South African government is now geared to give out 10 million Bibles. De Klerk himself, the government money, that means our money, our taxpayers' money, he is going to pay for 1 million Bibles alone from the taxpayers' money. And the rest coming from Britain, from the Bible societies, altogether 10 million Bibles are to be given out now. To change, to bring these people to move towards Christ. 10 million Bibles are being offered. I am only asking my brethren all over, I said now, especially in Abu Dhabi, I said I want 1 million of these. I don't want food, this, that. I don't want your business or to want to do business with you. I want you to do business with Allah. 1 million Zulu Qurans, this is only a portion, that's all we want for the moment. It's good enough. Time will come, my children's children, maybe they'll complete the Quran. But whatever is contained in here, we call it part 1, is sufficient for the man's needs. 1 million Zulu Qurans. I want my brethren to help me in trying to change the hearts and minds of people, so that we can benefit here, salvation here, as well as in the hereafter. We have no ulterior motive like the white man has.